infra. And during 2021, there's been this NFT hype, and the major amount of the artists from that too, they had this basic technical barrier: download the vault, buy ETH to purchase ETH or something like this. And I really like your Andrea input that a lot of artists, they issue some troubles with manual registration of API, right?
Yeah.
Still, you guys depend on community. So tell us, how do you build community? How do you educate artists? And how do you onboard Web2 artists, Web2 content creators from Web3?
To Web3, sorry.
Yeah, sure. So for us, Gameplus is focusing currently on gaming. Me coming from a gaming background as well, I grew up pretty much learning about game development through modding Minecraft and Skyrim. And I think that's one of our edges for our platform, is that we want to know our user base. We want to know exactly what kind of tools they need, what they want from, I guess, an AI agent, and what kind of data that they can contribute. So for us, we're actually talking to a lot of the current Minecraft modders community. We've been giving out demos, we've been talking to them, seeing what kind of information they're providing, seeing what tools they need in the Web3 space. I think that's a very important part of building a community, especially converting them from Web3, is actually just talking to them, knowing your product, and then knowing your consumers as well.
Hello. Does it work? Is this what? Hello. Try this.
So Chainbase focused on the development community for more than 3 years. That's the core user of us. Right now we have attracted more than 20,000 developers globally to actively take us as a backend. So we always take them seriously. I think the core, the reason why we can attract them, all of them, is that we identify the core value that we can provide to them. Because for developer and project, they don't listen to buzzword. They just want a better services or better product. So for us, I think we identify ourselves, the core value of us is aggregate data from multiple chains and turn them into high quality format. That tackles on majority of the business use cases. For example, some company will come to us to say whether we can provide customized API for them to generate themselves based on their own needs. Someone will say if we can provide sort of the AI capability for them to leverage on data on a smart way. We listen to all these things. And we talk with all of developer and community at a daily basis. Always listen to the core user and give them feedback at a daily basis is the core for us to build up the community. That's also why we want to open source everything, as I said multiple times. Because I think under the centralized format, we can now attract global developer community in an effective way. Because I got a statistic that there's only 200,000 to 300,000 developers in Web3, but in Web2 world, by the way, we got a partnership with Google BigQuery. They will attract 7 million developers for us in just one click. That's a huge difference in how we can leverage all this developing in traditional world to Web3. That's also the way to tackle mass adoption, right? So the only way is to lower the entry barrier, listen to them, and provide a better services and product and even capability for them. We're going to focus on that, and also we encourage everyone to join us.
Sorry, Chris, that's a very interesting topic for me. I'm a fan of this transition from Web2 to Web3. So can you narrow down and be more specific? How do you educate those Web2 developers? Can you provide some examples? How do you transform them? And apart from beautiful idea of decentralized storage and being on-chain, how do you incentivize them?
They're pretty realistic. They only want a real feedback, either on fiat or they can get free account for any type of a good product. So that's our secret weapon. We offer a generous free plan for all of them because, I just tell the truth that 80% of the developers in our community, they don't pay anything. But I think that's the best way to do the coverage. And the whole industry needs the coverage. Then we can do the penetration and loyalty. So for us, the primary goal is to cover as many developers as possible and in a way they like. Most of the developer come to us say that our product has the really, the developer-friendly interface, because 80% of our team members have developer background, or even they are themselves are data engineers or data scientists. So we know how developers want to interact with the product, how they want indexing or querying on data. We just give them what they are looking for, what they are looking with. And yeah, I think that's a goal. Also, I'm pretty interested in this topic to connect Web 2 and Web 3, because we all need to find, I think we are under the critical turning point to connect the Web 3 to the real world, because there isn't that much dry powder in Web 3, right? So the easiest way for me is to use data as a tool, because data is the core measurement of on-chain activity. Everyone want to know the secret behind it, but it's really hard, because all the on-chain transaction is a hash, and how to translate all this hidden insights into traceable, transparent format, or even in a model format. That's the key that we're gonna focus on. It's really hard, but I think it's worthwhile to doing that.
100%, thank you. So we had the question about how to build the community.
Yeah. Okay. So you also want okay.
If you have something to add.
No, I think actually I just wanted to build on Chris's point. I think you mentioned something along the lines of meeting the users where they are. There already are a lot of communities, right? And in Web3, everyone wants to create a new community and okay, let's make sure that we have a good ecosystem. But there's already thousands of apps or millions of apps with millions of users, and it's more about us going to them than it is about trying to bring them over to Web3. So, for example, using the same example as before, Magma, they already have 3 million artists on their platform, and their artists don't know anything about Web3, and they shouldn't know anything about Web3. Because what's important about Web3 is not the fact that you have a wallet and that you can transact and you can speculate. It's that.
But it's a barrier. Sometimes
exactly.
it's.
100%. But it's like a useless barrier, right? So an artist wants to create art, and they already have a platform in which they do it. So why try to take them away from it and try to shove it in their face, connect a wallet here and then do something else. So what we're doing is within Magma, when you finish an artwork with your collaborators, you can go to File, and instead of just doing export PNG or save PNG, you can go to File, a registered artwork, right? No wallet connection, no nothing, and that process is built in to where they already are, where they're already as a community. So I think my input to this question is the best way to build a community is to go to where the communities already are. And then if you provide extra value, then the community grows as a result, rather than trying to create a lot of small fragmented communities, fighting for attention, and at least that's the approach that we're taking.
Hopefully you listen to your community, as you said. So can you explain, can you share with our audience your short-term and mid-term plans in terms of product itself? I know that sometimes Cointelegraph can change one button on Cointelegraph interface, and this increase the amount of CPCs dramatically. So share the technical updates about your projects.
Sure. For Gameplus, right now we're working on mainly the gaming vertical. We're refining our kind of privacy-preserving computations as well as our data clean room to make sure our infrastructure works when users contribute data. Especially for gaming, there's a lot of different types of data. It's a lot more than let's say like a lifestyle, right, or a fashion. We have to do behavioral data, asset data, just everything that you can to build out a game. So once we finish that, we have plans on reaching out to different communities such as, like I said, entertainment, lifestyle, even education. I think these are very important consumer related communities that have the need for AI agents, and they have a lot of data to contribute as well.
Thank you.
I think for us, the long-term goal still unchanged. We believe on-chain will be the next online, by both in terms of adoption and the maturity. So at that point, I believe there will be a wide range of application on-chain, beyond financial related, but also rich application, AI related application. And for all of them, I think they have even heavier needs on data. Crypto is just a data-driven business. So for us, we just want to provide, as I said previously, the public goods for the whole industry. Even we call it public goods layer. That's the end goal for us, because we want to be the very first sort of cloud services company on chain versus all these big ones online. And the short goal for us is that we will plan to do TGE by the end of the year. And I think the token launch is just the starting point for us to incentivize the whole industry, generate the data-centric consensus with us. As I said, we got multiple players in the ecosystem, data provider, data consumer, node operator, how to incentivize all of them and create the ecosystem community with that together. I totally agree with what Andrew said previously. We don't need to create, fragmented small communities by ourselves, but rely on the existing one. How to converting all Web2 develop into Web3, or how to onboarding a rich application or AI-related application for next generation of blockchain. That's the end goal for not only for us, but I think all the audience.
Cool. Yeah, for Story, we're on testnet right now, and 3 months timeline is definitely to likely have mainnet, and I think the end goal is also to really that's like the short term, midterm. The long term is to modernize the IP infrastructure. Get rid of folders and binders and paper, and really make IP as easy as right-clicking and licensing something, or essentially what the QR did for linking digital and physical connections, right? Where you can point your phone at anything and tap into the digital world. We want to do the opposite. Anything that is a piece of content that has IP, ideally has something like a QR code that you can tap into the license behind it, the terms of use, and how to remix it legally. Because people are going to remix anyways, and it's just about making the legal way the easier way, so that the artists, the creators, the model fine-tuners, the data set creators, everyone is attributed and is credited and has value back. Because that's the only way to make things sustainable. Otherwise, in like 5-10 years, everything is going to go to shit, basically, because artists are not incentivized to create new stuff because models are eating them up and not giving anything back. So there's going to be like a tragedy of the commons. I don't know if you know that term, but basically everyone is going to eat itself.
Say it again, tragedy
of the commons.
Commons.
Commons, yeah. Where if we don't create a sustainable, and a visual image of this is like pretend there's a field and like there's a lot of animals, right? And they can eat all the grass up, right? But then there's no more grass and everyone dies. Instead of like rationing it and making sure that there's a sustainable ecosystem that keeps growing grass. And AI models are like eating data like it's a buffet without realizing that the data will run out sooner or later. And then it's just synthetic data trained on synthetic data trained on synthetic data.
Andrea, do you use on-chain data storage in Story?
We are not specializing on data storage. So what's
do you use it as a project?
We use like IPFS, Arweave. We're less like anything can be used on Story, because what's stored on Story is the IP metadata of the asset or the content that is created. So it could also live off chain, but the IP metadata is what's stored on Story. So yeah.
And before we'll proceed with the next question here, audience. 1-1, okay. I want to ask you, who is creator? Who is an artist among you? Just raise your hand. Okay, I can see a few hands. Okay, and who represents some enterprises, some startups? Okay, nice, thank you. So we're about to finish the panel, as I understand from the organizers. And last question. You are here for the next 1 week. And I know you want to promote your companies as much as possible. Still, it's really important to be reached by relevant people, like head of partnerships, wherever. So give us a clue, what kind of people, projects do you want to talk to, and what are the best way approach you? Twitter, Telegram, your mail, wherever.
I can go really quickly since I have the microphone. So tomorrow we're hosting Story Academy, which is a day from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Where you're going to hear from ecosystem projects and also can come to meet the team and talk with the team. We're interested in anything related to content creators and creator platforms and creator apps. AI, of course, because that's where a lot of the content nowadays is being generated, and therefore IP. And thirdly, what we call IP-Fi, which is basically DeFi built on IP primitives. So things like licenses can be traded, royalty tokens can be transferred, IP itself can be invested in potentially. So anything that creates that liquidity layer around IP, we're definitely interested as well. So those are the three areas. And yeah, feel free to come talk to me after the panel.
I love this question. Give us a free time to promote ourselves. Yeah, I think, as I said, we always focus on development projects. If you have any... Hello, does it work? Yeah. If you have any... Better not. No.
Maybe your position.
Like this?
Yeah.
Well.
Wow.
So if you have any needs related to data, just go with us. Just we have the most developer-friendly interface. I believe that most of the rich application we have happening is on data, and we provide a high-quality data format based on a multi-chain. We provide a high-quality data format based on a multi-chain standard, and we also have the data standardized format to help everyone to process on data into a high-quality format. And we just launched the very first crypto foundation model to make sure everyone, every on-chain interaction with the data can be turned into a smart way. We also encourage end user to interact with us because everyone's data provider. We just have the Chainbase Genesis, which is the part of the user onboarding campaign, launched about a month ago. It has attracted 15 million connected wallets, and we got the very first ChatGPT on-chain, which is called Thea Chat, and it has 3,500 million data active user, and also welcome everyone to explore and experience it together.
Say it again, what's the name of the on-chain ChatGPT?
Thea Chat.
Thea Chat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, hello? So for us, we're interested in talking to pretty much everyone as well. We do agree that everybody has valuable data to provide us. But if you're an AI company, if you're a gaming company, or even if you're a user that's interested in testing out, our applications, feel free to contact us. We actually have a mini TG game coming out in the next month. This is kind of like an initial pipeline for users to kind of see what data they can actually generate and contribute, and actually show everybody what data we're collecting as well. So if you're interested in that, look out on our Twitter. It should be Gameplus_AI. Yeah.
And small promotion for me. Guys, first of all, tomorrow we have Dobbs Bubble event together with Vat Economy, and a lot of Web3 startups still chasing me for AWS credits because we have partnerships. So all on-chain data providers, I'm happy to invite and educate the enterprise ecosystem. We need to talk, Chris, more about it. And Cointelegraph hosts VC Startup Connect on September 20th in Raffles for 5 hours in a row. Feel free to come. We have big pre-seed ecosystem of the startups from Cointelegraph, from ICP, and many others partners. Thank you, guys. It was really insightful, very interesting. Thank you, our audience. Let's rule this day.